Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to beautiful 3M Arena at Mariucci. I'm Jack Bartlett, joined by Tim Serb for another showdown between Big Ten division rivals. Minnesota leads the all-time series 47-29-6. They took 3 out of 4 from the Fighting Irish during the season. We've got an entertaining one here. Big Ten quarterfinals, best of 3. Doesn't get any better than this. Doesn't get any more electric than this. And heck, it even snowed outside, so it feels a little bit more like winter.
Yeah, that snow's been melting, but my spirit for hockey has not diminished at all. I am excited for this matchup here tonight.
It's going to be a fun one. It always is. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Big Ten tournament playoff hockey is some of my favorite stuff to broadcast with here at Radio K Sports. I've done football, basketball, but especially when the crowds get packed up. Obviously, with spring break being so close in proximity, crowds aren't going to be as rowdy, but student section is starting to fill out as we're about 17 minutes away from game time here. I think it'd be good before the game to do a little bit of a season recap for the Golden Gophers, specifically in their Big Ten play. They started out the season with back-to-back wins, sweeping Penn State at home 3-1 and 1-0. Liam Souliere shut out his former team in that second game, and then kept it rolling with back-to-back 3-2 wins with their lone extra session win at Wisconsin, and then followed that up against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. We'll talk about these two games, 6-3 and 5-3 in South Bend, and then back-to-back shutouts to start 8-0 on the season, 6-0 and 2-0 at home against Michigan. Wheels kind of start falling off, and the cracks start showing in the Golden Gophers' offense, and especially their overtime and shootout play. They lose in the shootout against Michigan State, 3-3, and then 3-5. Then they lose a third consecutive game, 1-5 at Ohio State, and then come back the next game and obliterate them 6-1. Then Notre Dame, the second time, we'll mention it some more, a 5-2 win, and then a 3-4 overtime loss. That's the game that we're going to be talking a lot about, and what can the Gophers do to avoid that again. Then their worst loss of the season, a 9-3 defeat at the hands of the Michigan State Spartans, who will get a bye with the 1 seed, and then another shootout loss against those Spartans in East Lansing. Back-to-back wins, sweeping Wisconsin on the season here at home, 5-2 and 4-1. And then 2 extra session losses at Michigan, 2-3 in an overtime and 2-2 in a shootout. Ohio State back-to-back wins, 4-1 and 6-3, and then ending the season with another overtime loss and finally a 5-3 win against Penn State. Took them out of contention for the 1 seed, so they will have to play this best-of-3 series against Notre Dame. They're 1-8 in the extra session this year, and that lone win against Wisconsin, it seems like if the Gophers get to an extra session, overtime or shootout be gone, you can almost chalk it up as a loss.
Oh, definitely, and especially here tonight against Notre Dame, one of the teams that the Gophers have lost to in an overtime session. Notre Dame really only has 3 or 4 major goal-scoring threats, and when you get to an overtime period where there only are 3 guys on the ice playing offense, I'm not favoring the Gophers in that.
Yeah, and the overtime period for Notre Dame, they controlled the puck almost the entire overtime. The Gophers lost the initial face-off. They got 1 cover from Liam Souliere, then lost the ensuing draw. Notre Dame controlled the puck the entire time and wound up finding an open pass. Those 3-on-3 scenarios create those so frequently. Deposited it past Souliere to avoid the season sweep for the Fighting Irish. But another thing of note, in all 4 games, Notre Dame scored first. In 3 out of those 4 games, all 3 games that the Gophers won, they came back with at least 3 goals consecutively. That was exceeded by 5 goals in the first period of the first home game that the Gophers won 5-2. But Tim, you want to run us through the first 2 games in Notre Dame?
Yeah, in the 6-3 victory in that first game, the Gophers got 3 power play goals, 2 goals on a Janicki kneeing major, and in a game where Notre Dame had 21 penalty minutes. Renzel had 2 goals. Huglin had a goal and an assist. Kurth had a goal. Moore had a goal and an assist. Lamb had a goal. and then Snuggerud had 2 assists along with Matthew Wood. The Gophers outshot Notre Dame by 10, 38-28, with only a 42% faceoff win.
Yeah, so the faceoffs are something we've been mentioning throughout the season, that the Golden Gophers just have not done well, and that's going to be especially difficult against Notre Dame's first line. Danny Nelson has been outstanding on the faceoff dot, a 57.9 clip, and all 3 of their first 3 centers are over 50% on the season. Tyler Carpenter a little less experienced at around 48%. Tim, what happened in the second game?
Yeah, in that second game, the Gophers came back, responded with 3 in a row for the second game in a row after giving up that first goal. But we're 1 for 7 on the power play. Renzel had 2 assists, Kester a goal, Moore a goal, Luke Middlestat with 2 assists, Brody Zemer a goal and an assist, and then Snuggerud had the brace with 2 goals and an assist. Gophers outshot Notre Dame by 16 in that game, and once again lost the faceoff battle, but not as badly at 46.5%.
Then moving on to the home series, the Gophers once again gave up the first goal, but then scored 5 consecutive unanswered in the first period, gave up another goal in the second, and that was all she wrote for scoring. But that was an unbelievable game. Both you and I were calling it. I almost couldn't get the words out of my mouth before the Gophers put another one past the Notre Dame goaltender. That was Nicholas Kempf, freshman from Morton Grove, Illinois. He's really struggled this season. We'll see Owen Say once again. He's been the significantly better goalie of the tandem. They have messed around with him starting back-to-back games, but he got roughed up in the first period of a game, and then Kempf had to come in to close that one later on in the season. So it looks like they're still going with a 2-goalie system, but the Gophers have been riding Liam Soulier ever since that Nathan Airy blow-up in Michigan State. I anticipate that if they really blow the doors off of Notre Dame today, we might see Nathan Airy for Game 2, and then back to Soulier for Game 3 to try and keep him rested. In that 5-2 victory that was started by Liam Soulier, Kester 2 assists, Hendrickson had 2 of them as well. Nevers, Middlestat, Cal Thomas had a goal, and Snuggerud had 2. They outshot Notre Dame by 31, 46-15. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had 25 of those in the first period alone. Again, behind on the faceoff dot at 47.7%. Then the lone loss to the Fighting Irish, one of their just 4 wins in Big Ten play. They're 4-19-1. They beat Wisconsin twice, so split the season series with them, beat Minnesota in overtime, and then beat Michigan. But otherwise, it's been really tough sledding for Notre Dame and head coach Jeff Jackson in his 20th season. He has over 1,000 victories in his career. In that 3-4 game, Gophers gave up the first and then answered each time Notre Dame scored to make it 1-1, 2-2, and 3-3. But then, like I said earlier, didn't control the puck in overtime at all and lost. Middlestat had a goal. Snuggerud and Wood had one as well. Paulson had 2 assists. They still outshot Notre Dame, this time just 33-31, and were above 50% on the faceoff dot. But going back to the previous 3 games where the Gophers kind of handily went ahead after Notre Dame scored first, Tim, what do you think are the keys to the game if the Gophers want to answer if Notre Dame does end up scoring first, and where do you improve upon for Game 2 if Notre Dame does score first and hang around a little longer than they should?
You know, I think just what this boils down to is, for me, effort and energy. When the Gophers were riding high, especially in that first period of that first home game where they scored those 5 goals, it was just absolutely beautiful to see how they were just out there roughing it up, hitting Notre Dame against the boards. They looked fired up. But in the second and third period in that game, the Gophers just looked flat. They looked content. They looked like they were just going through the motions, and that's just the way that they came out in that second game where they lost in overtime. It was just a lot of just contentment with just being where they were. And then with Owen Say having really the 5 periods of his life, giving up 3 goals in 5 periods against the Gophers, Notre Dame was able to squeak out in overtime. So today I'm really just looking at an overall effort and energy. If the Gophers come out, the crowd should be fired up even if it's not full. But just having that just to drive to absolutely pummel Notre Dame and just put them down.
We mentioned it most games, but the power play is going to be critical for both of these teams. They sit right about even at 23.4% for the Gophers and 23.8% for the Fighting Irish. The Fighting Irish have the slightly better penalty kill at 78.6. Gophers just 75%. That's 53rd out of 64 teams in the NCAA. They've really struggled when they've been a man short, but they only average about 2.6 penalties per game for 7 minutes. So they aren't short often, but when they are, it's been a real detriment.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things there is that the Gophers find themselves trying to defend a major penalty a little too often. Notably, in the last game the Gophers played against Penn State in Pennsylvania, Ryan Chesley was ejected from the game after they had a controversial review, added 2 minutes on the clock, and then gave up a goal 20 seconds later that put the game at even 2-2 instead of 3-1 Gophers. But it's really just going to be that penalty kill for me. 75%. I mean, they're giving up more goals than they average themselves, and they're top 15 in the country.
In terms of scoring, what you can expect from this Notre Dame team, we mentioned pregame that their first line is really carrying a lot of weight. Blake Biondi, Danny Nelson, Grant Silanoff, all Minnesota natives. Them from Edina for Silanoff, Maple Grove for Danny Nelson, and Hermantown for Biondi. Silanoff hasn't had as much point production as the Gophers will take the ice, but Danny Nelson especially has been great. 13 goals, 13 assists for 26 points. Janicki and Knuble on the second line. Janicki leads the team with 15 goals. Knuble in assists and points with 26 and 37 respectively. But after those two lines, the point production really falls off. Just two guys between the third and fourth line have double-digit points on the season. So if the Gophers can get those guys tired early on, that's going to do a lot for Notre Dame's point production. They only scored 2.6 goals per game, give up 3.5.
Yeah, and going back to what you said, if the Gophers are able to tire out these first two lines of Notre Dame, like going back to what I said about the overtime, is that when you have those three guys, you don't have to sub them out. You can just sub the first two lines in and out, and that's where all their point production comes from. But if you're in the regulation period, I mean, Notre Dame is quite awful against Big Ten opponents because their starting guys are getting tired.
So we're about ready to get the starting lineups and hear the anthem from the pep band. I'd say the majority of the stands are empty. Student section, probably 75% capacity, as it's just unfortunate timing with spring break. I think it would be much more electric atmosphere. If the Gophers do advance, they will play next weekend, which is still during spring break, but I have a hunch that more students might be back. Owen Say between the pipes for the Fighting Irish. 8-13-0, 913 save percentage, and a 302 goals allowed average. Defense left to right goes Paul Fisher and Michael Mastrodomenico. Great hockey name there. And then they'll send out the first line of Silanoff, Nelson, and Biondi that we mentioned in the pregame. Notre Dame wearing their visiting all Navy uniforms with the chrome domes. One of the most beautiful jerseys in college hockey. You absolutely love to see it. It's high school hockey season here in Minneapolis as well. The high school I graduated from, St. Thomas Academy, is in the semifinals right now. They started at 6. We'll give you updates as the tournament goes on, but I'm assuming that's where a lot of the energy for this game also went, is to the XL Energy Center for the Class AA semifinals. STA's down 2-0 currently. I believe that game's in the second period. STA being the 3 seed, Stillwater being the 2 seed. We'll keep you updated as time goes on with the rest of the AA bracket. I believe it's Edina and another team. I forgot them. Between the pipes for the Golden Gophers, Liam Soulier, 13, 6-2, 2.18 goals allowed average, and a .922 save percentage. Then Luke Middlestat junior from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, with 16 assists, 18 points on the season. His defensive partner, Sam Renzel, the Chanhassen, Minnesotan native, 9 goals, 18 assists for the 6'5" defensive stalwart. Brody Zemer, left wing from Chaska, Minnesota, freshman, has 21 points in his first season in the maroon and gold. And then you know his name so well, number 81, Jimmy Snuggerud, 22 goals, 23 assists, 45 points, leads the team in all 3 categories. Oliver Moore is the center for that line. His second season for the maroon and gold. Sophomore has 30 points on the season and will be playing for the rival Chicago Blackhawks. Bob Motzko, in his 7th season as the Golden Gopher head coach, has yet to find his way to the promised land and hoist the college championship. The Gophers haven't had one since 2003. Be looking to change that this year. We'll pause for the anthem. So as we get ready for puck drop, Tim, give me a prediction, give me a goal scorer, give me an underrated performer for the Golden Gophers, and then give me a score prediction.
Gosh, ever since we walked over, I've been thinking about who I was going to say for this prediction. You know what? I'm going to go with Luke Middlestat. Luke Middlestat's going to be a goal scorer here today. My underrated player of the game is going to be Jimmy Clark, coming off of absolutely just mind-bogglingly good assist in that Penn State game, which gave the Gophers the victory. And my score prediction is going to be 5-3 Gophers.
I like all 3 of those. I think as my goal scorer, I'm going to go with Connor Kurth. I mean, he's at plus 30, right near the top, if not at the top of NCAA plus-minus rankings with 16 goals on the season. I'll take Connor Kurth to score. Underrated performer, I'm going to say Mason Nevers. He's had a couple goals in his last few games and has kind of found a scoring stroke after a long drought. He's been placed mostly on the 4th line this season as a graduate student and now has 6 goals on the season. For a score prediction, I'm going to take the Gophers to get 5, but I think Notre Dame will keep it a little closer. I'll take 5-4 in an entertaining contest between the Fighting Irish and the Golden Gophers.
Hey, going back to what you said there, Mason Nevers, he's been playing some really good hockey as of lately, especially in that last game.
Oliver Moore against Danny Nelson, and Oliver Moore wins it back, and we are underway. Gophers get first crack at things. Snuggerud ramps it into the zone, but Paul Fisher, the team leader in blocks for the Fighting Irish with 50, as that's turned over at the blue line. Zemer looking for an outlet pass, gives to Snuggerud, finds Zemer along the Notre Dame bench. Snuggerud flings a pass through the slot. Net is off already. That's something that Gopher fans know all too well with former Michigan goaltender Eric Portillo, who is almost a professional at that, especially when there was high danger opportunities, and much to the student section's chagrin.
Yeah, I don't think it was Owen Say necessarily doing it on purpose here, just 24 seconds into the game, but you bring up a very good point and a very, very sore point for many Gopher fans.
Shot in, and Owen Say is tested for the first time off the stick of Matthew Wood. Notre Dame is able to clear the zone as Clark clears it out of the neutral zone, and Notre Dame will reset. Howell, long pass ahead. That'll be an icing. Howell leads Notre Dame in penalties taken and penalty minutes with 13 and 37 respectively.
In the early going here, it looks like Notre Dame's perfectly content doing what they did the entire season against the Gophers, and really just the entire season, which is playing very defensive hockey, keeping the puck in their defensive zone.
Gophers another clean face-off draw. Chesley point to point from Cal Thomas. Now dumps down low for Clark. And that pass up to the point is intercepted. Silinoff chips around Chesley. Cal Thomas plays as Notre Dame is in the midst of a change. 1 minute gone in the first best of 3 game in the Big Ten quarterfinals. Gophers haven't had to play here in a couple of years. Kurth with a turnover to Brody Lamb. Back for Kurth, who fires just wide. Great opportunity for my goal score prediction to put one in the back of the net, and just missed Owen Say.
Yeah, Kurth right out there in the slot. Really had a great opportunity there, just sends it just left.
Kumlin, long shot in, and it goes in! Oh my gosh, Liam Souliere with a catastrophic error. Kumlin scores from basically center ice. Souliere completely missed it with his glove, and Notre Dame breaks the ice for the 5th consecutive time.
That has got to be one of the strangest goals I've ever seen, as Kumlin is really beyond the blue line, just swings it in to get a shot on goal. Souliere, it looked like he may have closed the glove too early as it goes behind the net, and Notre Dame really just steals a goal here in the early going.
First shot faced by Liam Souliere, and that's about as big of a gift as you could get. Nothing more you could hope for if you're the Fighting Irish and Jeff Jackson. Jursev, long shot in. Souliere thankfully gets this one and gets an ironic round of applause from the rest of the crowd as he kind of taps his glove to him.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Jimmy Jursev, you may as well just send that in there and see if Souliere is paying attention. The freshman out of Palos Heights, Illinois. But gosh, that could not have gone any worse for the Gophers to go early. I mean, they've been on the offensive side the entire first minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Kumlin's easiest of his 6 goals on the season for sure, unassisted. Notre Dame dumps it in. Gruba the first one to play it. Falloon is able to help it out of the zone. But Larrigan was the first one on it for the Fighting Irish. Now worked ahead and dumped down. A heavy hit there by Carpenter on Luke Middlestat behind the net. Now outlet pass, 4th line. Paulson fires in, saved by Owen Say. Puck is loose and he's able to scramble and cover.
It's good to see Eric Paulson back out on the ice. He was not on the ice at that second Penn State game. Playing with the 4th line here today as he gets a nice shot on goal.
Paulson, a freshman from Landskrona, Sweden. 3 goals, 15 assists, 18 points in 26 games for the newbie. Another face-off draw win. Thomas a shot in. Puck is loose. Snuggerud had it in his feet and was tied up out in front. Notre Dame flops it out. Thomas slides back for Chesley. Now ahead for Oliver Moore with speed. Tried to stick handle around some Fighting Irish and worked out of the zone again. Gophers have had definitely cleaner puck possession as Cal Thomas turns it over. Biondi in the offensive zone for Silinoff, blocked in front by Cal Thomas. They've had the better puck control so far. 3-on-3 at the line. Snuggerud looking for a sharp angle shot. Doesn't find the right pad of Owen Say. Chesley once again. Gophers' transition to offense to defense has been clean so far. Snuggerud out front for Oliver Moore, sticked away by Paul Fisher. Moore looking for a pass. That's deflected, and Notre Dame will regroup. 16:38 and counting remaining period number 1. A softie by Souliere. Knubel wanted to add to that lead, and a good stick by Middlestat denied that. Janicki in the slot. Master Domenico all alone. He fired it just wide. Souliere might have gotten a piece of it. Great save by Souliere on Master Domenico, who was wide open at the top of the far circle. Matthew Wood below the net, found its way out to Clark. Now Wood regroups in the far corner. Trying to play it strongly, keeps it in at the blue line. For Kester on the close top circle. For Wood, Kester is laid out on the play. Looked like maybe an interference call. Not sure who that was against. Clark, another turnover, but he gives it right back to Ali. Brendan Ali, 3-on-2. Janicki shovels a pass to no one in particular. Knuble in the far corner. Kester resets, now ahead for Hendrickson along the benches. Gophers a full sail line change. Jursev, first one on the puck for the Fighting Irish after they turn it over. Brody Lamb, good stick. Huglin in with speed. He fires, deflected. Doesn't find its way to Owen Say. He's pinned up against the boards by Henry Nelson, twin brother of Danny Nelson, and the Irish work it free. Jursev, shot in. Souliere doesn't quite handle it, but luckily is able to trap it with his glove and avoid a second chance opportunity.
Yeah, and Jack, what I'm seeing here early is just a lot of transition offense from Notre Dame. That's where they were so good, especially in the series here in January, when they can just catch the Gopher defense lacking and get those 3-on-2 opportunities, which is what they're looking for. Janicki, Biondi, Knuble, all those guys, that's who they want to find.
Draw one by the Fighting Irish. Boy, a great carom off the boards on Kumlin's long shot. Nobody was there, and that's going to be a hand pass against Notre Dame.
And another thing to note here early is the Gophers, they're really creating a lot of good opportunities right in front of Owen Say in the slot. They're just getting blocked a little bit by those defenders. Paul Fisher, a guy whose name will be called often, he is a fantastic defender for the Irish. The sophomore from River Forest, Illinois, has 50 blocks. Already, I believe, has 2 or 3 here today.
Pair of fourth lines on the ice. It'll be Paulson against Carpenter. Carpenter wins cleanly. Larrigan across the blue line. Good stick by Paulson to deny Hellewell on a pinching opportunity. Jovanovic works his way around Paulson, not far enough around Rinzel. Biondi, now they go with the first line, do the Fighting Irish to the point. Point to point, Master Domenico shot off the boards, between the legs opportunity. Net is off its moorings, and referee's gonna blow the whistle as Souliere pushed from his left to his right. Boy, that would have been an incredible goal on the back door by Biondi. Long shot in, again off the dasher. Biondi almost went between the legs backhand and fooled Souliere.
Yeah, I don't know if he had the angle for that, but gosh, that would have been about an 88-degree shot. An incredible opportunity. You may as well throw it in there. Souliere clearly not on the top of his game here early, so you may as well test him.
Gophers' fourth line still out there. It'll be Paulson against Danny Nelson, and Nelson wins it cleanly. That's almost to be expected. Sharp angle shot. Souliere holds it in his shoulder off the stick of Paul Fisher. Looking for his third on the year. Good job for Souliere there. As a shorter goaltender standing at 5'11", he really has to throw the shoulders out there when he's down in the butterfly. Marc-Andre Fleury-esque. That's why all the modern goalies stand at well above 6 foot, but Souliere makes a good save on the short side.
Yeah, it's good to see him really, he's getting tested here. Unlike in the past games, Notre Dame out shooting the Gophers 4-2 here in the early going.
Shot in, looking for a Notre Dame stick that snapped. Gophers might have a chance in transition. Moore with speed across the block M. Feeds for Snuggerud. He wants a shot. It gets through. Owen Say was just happened to be in the right place. I think that hit Fisher on the way in. I think if Say doesn't close down the 5-hole, Snuggerud finds a lucky one.
Yeah, yet again, it's just Paul Fisher in the right spot for that Notre Dame first line. I mean, he has really impressed me in these now 3 games that I've seen him play. But the Gophers had a very good opportunity there. Oliver Moore in transition.
Gophers looking to make quick work of Notre Dame to try and save energy for whoever they may play in the next round. We've got the matchups are Ohio State against Wisconsin and then Michigan and Penn State. The latter of those two is absolutely the more interesting. Penn State's been on a heater as of late. Snuggerud, top of the circle, winds and fires. Zemer is tackled into Owen Say. No penalty coming as Zach Plusinski, I think, cleared him out. Way to break up a 3-on-2 by Chesley as he's trying to find Snuggerud in the zone. Good stick by Chesley again in the defensive zone. Notre Dame chips it in. Soulier settles it down. Across for Ryan Chesley, and now ahead for Snuggerud. Far board, sharp angle shot, hit the crossbar. Jimmy Snuggerud rings one off the crossbar from an impossible angle as Notre Dame's offsides.
Snuggerud is, man, that is one of the most incredible players I've ever seen. He's the Gophers' goals and assists leaders on the season, 45 points, 22 goals, 23 assists. But he's at like 88 degrees and somehow hits that top corner. My goodness, Owen Say was not even ready for that at all.
Leads the team with 144 shots on the season. He loves to shoot it in Big Ten play. At one point, even midway through Big Ten play, as Middlestat cleans up the face-off win. Wood gloves and drops just too far. Owen Say covers. But Snuggerud at one point late in the season was shooting 25% in Big Ten play, now shoots around 21%. He's going to test any goalie that's between the pipes for the Big Ten and is in the conversation for the Hobie Baker Award. He's going to have to put in a heck of a performance, I think, here during the Big Ten tournament and during the rest of the NCAA playoffs to get there, but he still has a chance. Wood, turnover. Clark just does come up with a loose puck in the far corner, pinned against the boards by Master Domenico. Kurth there to help. 2-on-2. Kurth works it free in the far corner still. Now he is pinned. Pass up to the point. Just escapes the zone. Middlestat ahead for Gruba. Soft touch into the zone. Gophers change all 5. 12:36 remaining in period number 1. Notre Dame still with the lone goal in the game. Softy given up by Liam Soulier. Given to Axel Kumlin. Here come the Fighting Irish. They've spent a while in their defensive zone. Shot in. Knuble looking for a wraparound. Good fake there. Backdoor feed. Tried to find Plusinski. Pass didn't connect. Good read by Falloon. Paulson chips out of the zone. Now one-on-one. Nevers against Nelson. Trying to make a move. In the slot. Fires just high. Looking for the blocker side top corner. Was my underrated performer of the pregame show. Nevers just misses. Turnover by Huglin. 2-on-2 with Hendrickson. Saucer pass. Fires right into the glove of Owen Say. Boy, was that a great pass by the veteran number 7.
Yeah, Huglin comes up with that loose puck. 4 guys on the left side of the ice. Hendrickson gets free. Had a great opportunity, but Owen Say in the perfect spot, as I believe he hits him right in the middle of the Notre Dame letters on his jersey.
And that was, yeah, like you said, great positioning by Owen Say. Stayed big, stayed out in front of his crease on the 2-on-2, and robbed Hendrickson of one of the best chances so far in this one. Cleared out again by Notre Dame. This goes all the way down for icing. It seems like the Gophers have had the better offensive zone time. They've had more control of the puck generally, especially in the offensive zone, but the shots still read 4-4, 11:40 left in period 1, and Notre Dame leads.
Yeah, and those 4 opportunities really could be 4 goals. And Snuggerud almost had that impossible one, and even Nevers in that one-on-one opportunity got a very good look.
Glove and drop keep by Cal Thomas, but Notre Dame with speed. Driving in Nelson, good stick by Chesley, and Soulier might have helped out a little bit on it as well. Cal Thomas, big outlet pass for Hendrickson, switching sides. Another sharp angle shot rings the boards. Chesley keeps it in at the far blue. Off the boards, in front for Lamb, can't find it. It was in his feet, and Danny Nelson for the Fighting Irish, the first one to come up with it. Fight for it in the corner. Lamb not fast enough as it's chipped heads up in the stands. That hit a seat pretty hard. That might have even left a dent in it, we can see from up here.
Yeah, well, that fan was all over it, but luckily no one's up there to get hurt.
And we'll see what happens in this game and what happens for the rest of the Big Ten tournament, but there is a chance that this is my last game calling here on Radio K Sports. I've had an amazing 3.5 years and I'll talk about it more should it be the last game that I call. Basically, everybody's gone for spring break as Ziemer's in the offensive zone. He lost the handle on the play, and Fisher regroups. Good glove and drop by Ziemer to deny the clear. Shovels it towards the slot. Moore had vacated. Try back and play defense. Oliver Moore across for Snuggerud. Saucer pass into the close corner for Oliver Moore. And Notre Dame wins that one-on-one puck battle. But as I was saying, depending on definitely an offsides there, as Slaggert was in early, but won't be able to call the game tomorrow with the lack of other broadcasters in town because everybody's gone for spring break. Sunday, same thing. And then on the back end, I'll be taking my spring break trip, headed to Colorado for some skiing, and didn't get enough of winter here in Minnesota, I figured. And depending on if the Gophers travel to Fargo, if they do, we will have a broadcast. It'll probably be Tim and I for those regional games. It's just a shame they're never here. Long shot in on Soulier, and he covers.
Yeah, it'd be a heck of a time to go up there to Fargo, but the Gophers will have to take care of business here in this Big Ten tournament if that's going to be the case. You would assume they would have to reach at least the final, being ranked number 3, to make that Fargo regional and be the 1 seed.
They're sitting as the 3 seed in both ranking systems that college hockey uses. Face-off draw won by the Fighting Irish, but Matthew Wood ends up with a loose puck. Trying to drive around Massadomenico, he pins him in the boards. Kurth. Now he is locked up against the boards. Wood with a one-timer, glove save by Say. Added a little windmill on the end for effect.
Yeah, and one of the defenders that I think has been a really impact player for Notre Dame, Michael Mastrodomenico, was not in the home series last time. He's really just played an outstanding first period here, putting the pressure on both sides of the ice.
Wood against Knuble on the draw. Tie up one. Jimmy Clark wanted a shot. He was bowled over. And the Fighting Irish escape. Kumlin looking for a pass towards the slot. Doesn't connect. Clark winds up with the loose puck, and now ahead for Kurth. 2-on-2 with Wood. Good stick, and Notre Dame turns it back. Janicki along the far boards. And now Hellowell down low. Short pass, good skate by Kester. Denied what would have been a golden opportunity for Jovanovic. Right in front of Soulier. We'll head to the mid-period break. 9:30 left, period number 1. Gophers still down 1-0 after Axel Kumlin gets his 6th on the season from just about center ice. You're listening to Radio K Sports from Minneapolis. Welcome back to Minneapolis. Gophers down 1-0. Special shout out to all those listening. My parents are actually down right near center ice. My dad's got a couple AirPods in as the Gophers get it in the offensive zone. My roommates who graduated last year from the Dinky Dome, shout out to them. And thanks everybody for tuning in to another edition of Golden Gopher Hockey. It's been a blast, and Tim and I love it. Kester. Close corner for Rinzel. Now outlet for Middlestad, who's the extra skater tonight. Gives for Paulson. And dumps it in. Larigan along the benches. Flips it in past Middlestat for Jovanovic. 20 on 20. Hendrickson slides down behind the play, and now a tie-up right along the penalty boxes. Gruba regroups for the Gophers. And now outlet pass for Brody Lamb, trying to set up a play. His pocket's picked. And Notre Dame turns it over again. Working through his Strand. Good stick Middlestat to deny Strand on the fast break. Now Middlestat out for Gruba. Back and forth contest so far. Gophers had the early zone time. Now turnover. Oliver Moore just does keep it in, but loses it to Hellowell. Gophers had the early possession and had a lot of zone time early on. Zemer, top of the circle, feeds Moore. Moore driving in, and he just missed it. Oliver Moore had a sure goal if he handled it on the backhand. I don't know if Owen Say got a stick on it. Snuggerud tried a one-timer in tight. Pass kind of handcuffed him, and Notre Dame got a stick on his stick.
Geez, what an opportunity by Moore as he puts it right past Owen Say to the open spot, but just misses it. It's, oh my goodness, Biondi decks Oliver Moore on the other end.
Hellowell far circle, sharp angle shot, dangerously in the slot, and now worked out. Moore's got a fresh bit of snow on his breezers. Snuggerud trying to gain some speed, tried to go backhand, forehand, shovel it short side on Owen Say, and Hellowell got a stick on it first. Some energy now in this game, teams showing a bit more of the physical side. Nelson works it out. Over for Ali, slid in the slot. Good stick, Matthew Wood to deny Biondi. Fight for it below Soulier. Worked free by Brennan Ali, sophomore from Glencoe, Illinois. He hands it right back to Jimmy Clark. Matthew Wood, loose puck, takes a one-timer from the circle. Say shuts the door.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I think you just mentioned there was a bit of an energy shift out of the mid-period timeout. Both teams definitely getting more physical. I know there was a tie-up between Snuggerud and Kumlin right after the shot attempt by Snuggerud, but both teams really looking fierce here.
6:41 to go in period number one. Shots read 7-5 in favor of the maroon and gold. They still trail on the scoreboard. Ali gloves and drops. Out for Knuble. Racing along the far boards, hammers on the brakes, looking for a pass across. And Renzel sticks him away from it effectively. 3-on-2 for Huglin. Backdoor Lamb, backhand, incredible save. Owen Say shuts the door with the right pad. What a save by Owen Say. That might have been his best of the night. Huglin dumps it down low for Lamb. A broken stick for the Fighting Irish, laying on the ground and actually makes a play. They're able to clear and get a fresh stick on the ice. Huglin, top of the far circle, shot in, Say, generous rebound. Renzel tried to play it back for Aaron Huglin, and the pass didn't connect. Huglin plays a little catch with Gruba. Gruba for Renzel. Renzel fires just wide of Owen Say. Below the net, Lamb shovels it out front on the wraparound. Kept in by Gruba. Breakneck pace for the Golden Gophers. Gruba pushing along the far circle. Shoveled towards the front. Paulson whiffed on a wide open net. Say had dropped his goal stick, and Oliver Paulson had a gift on his stick from Gruba and couldn't get it to go.
Oh, what a missed opportunity there by Paulson. Owen Say's been playing some fantastic goaltender for the Irish.
Great flurry there from the Golden Gophers, but they still can't solve Owen Say. Broken sticks in the back of the net, and another turnover at the blue line. Paulson for Nevers. Nevers slides down low for Slaggert. Gophers trying to keep the pressure on, and Notre Dame looks like they're just going to get it out. Here comes Carter Slaggert for Mastrodomenico, and he scores right from the slot, fires it above Liam Soulier's glove. And after all that momentum the Gophers gained on that last offensive possession, Mastrodomenico shuts the door and silences this crowd. It's 2-0 Fighting Irish.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about pregame and then in the early going here is Notre Dame is just such a fantastic team in transition. That's where they get the majority of their goals. And what an addition to have Mastro Domenico back. I know I mentioned it earlier. So he makes his offensive presence known. And for the first time in this season series, Notre Dame goes up 2-0 after scoring that first goal.
So now the test becomes a little bigger for the Golden Gophers. Biondi in the offensive zone. Down low, Cal Thomas turns it over. Snug route outlet pass. Zemer has more 2-on-2. Trying to make a move, got it through. Owen Say covers up. That's Mastro Domenico's 4th on the season from Slaggert and Murphy. A great passing play and a great 3-on-2 execution from the Fighting Irish. Mastro Domenico pinching in from the point. Wound up with an open shot and fired it above Soulier's glove. Moore loses the draw to Nelson. Not cleared out. Zemer with a good keep. The Gophers have been really strong at keeping the blue line, but just have not been able to work Owen Say post to post and get him off balance. Nelson dumps it in. Assistant captain Cal Thomas on it there first for the Maroon and Gold. They're down 2-0. The largest deficit they've faced in any Notre Dame game this season. Chesley back in the defensive zone after a Notre Dame dump. Tap pass for Kurth. Snug route out in the slot. Clark couldn't get it. If he did, he had Gruba pinching in. Gruba taken down in the corner. Fans want to call, nothing coming. 2-on-2, late skater Wood. Glove saved by Soulier off the stick of Tyler Carpenter.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be the most important thing here. It's when the Gophers get that offensive pressure, not only just trying to get it past the net, but if they don't, getting back on defense. Both of the shots that have gone in for Notre Dame have been quite far out, as the replay shows it doesn't look like a penalty as Gruba went down, but it was Mastro Domenico from about halfway to the blue line. It's those long shots that Soulier hasn't been able to get.
I mean, that one was about half the distance of the first one and much more reasonable goal to give up. There's a tie-up off the face-off draw. Nobody in particular can come up with it. Wood trying to work it out, and does, but Notre Dame emerges. Mastro Domenico, second goal scorer for the Fighting Irish, waits behind Owen Say, who has played a phenomenal game thus far. 3:16 and counting in period number 1. Slaggert has it along the close boards. Pass across, finds Nelson. He works in, fires Soulier with another glove save.
Notre Dame switching to a more offensive-minded, attack here, being up 2-0. Something we haven't seen in a game against Notre Dame. The Irish taking that full advantage of really having nothing to lose here, being 4-19-1 in Big Ten play. Just trying to play a little upset here.
Gophers have done well in the faceoff dot. They're ahead 15-9 there, but they're ahead in about every category besides the big one on the scoreboard. Hellawell pass off the far glass. I don't quite know what he was looking to do. Maybe dump it down to a teammate. Kumlin long shot in, again gloved by Soulier cleanly.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Gophers in the faceoff lead. Interestingly enough, in the 3 games the Gophers did not lead in the faceoffs percentage were the ones they won. The one they lost in overtime was when they actually were leading in the faceoffs.
Knubel against Huglin. Huglin won it, but Ollie for the Fighting Irish was the first one on it. Below Soulier's net for Kumlin. Long shot in, again off the boards. 2 defenseman goals for Notre Dame, as the Gophers just do clear the zone. Notre Dame on it quickly again. Hellawell slings it down low. Soulier settles it down, has to play it after he was under duress. And Gophers still can't come up with any offensive momentum. After that one push they had 4 shots in one offensive zone trip. Couldn't get anything past Owen Say. It's been mostly sloppy turnovers in the neutral zone for the home team. Middlestat, long pass ahead. Puck was bouncing and it wasn't an accurate pass, and Fisher regroups. A minute 54 to go in period number 1. Out for Strand. Far boards, makes a good move for Biondi. Back down low for Strand, past him. Gruba plays that well. John Middlestat, the first one on it, and is able to get it out. Mason Nevers, really good stick there, and that is going to be a high stick on Biondi to deny Middlestat an opportunity with a minute 33 left. And not sure, referee announced something to the crowd. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, no one's heading to the box. Wasn't really a penalty, so I'm not entirely sure.
Offensive zone draw, as it looks like the Fighting Irish are going to be shorthanded. They had too many men on the ice.
So there's nothing I saw in play. I guess they're going to get Larrigan for wandering on the ice too long. The Golden Gophers, with a minute 33 left in the first period, are going to have a chance to at least get within 1 here, which would be huge.
23% power play for the Gophers, 78% kill for the Fighting Irish. Gophers win the opening draw. Snuggerud, close circle, working in to Renzel at the point. He fires, long shot in, backhand chance. Owen Say, puck is loose, and Say shuts the door again. I think that was Brody Lamb on the second opportunity with a whack after Renzel's point shot.
This is like what I like to see from the Gophers in that Penn State game when they had the major penalty. They decided to be very passive, not really shoot much, until they finally did get that goal with about 30 seconds left in the 5-minute penalty. But going at Notre Dame right away and trying to take advantage before the end of the period is exactly what I would want Moscow's squad to do.
It's more Snuggerud, Wood, Lamb, Renzel. The power play 1 unit for the Gophers. Notre Dame wins the faceoff draw and clears. Gophers, if they don't score in this period, will have about 30 seconds to start the second. Renzel, back pass, slingshot style for Brody Lamb. Now for Oliver Moore with speed along the far close boards. Snuggerud, loose puck, slings it up to the point. Renzel has to hustle to keep it in. For Wood. Wood playing the far side. Far circle, back up for Renzel again. Slowly operating in for Moore. Back pass for Wood, or Snuggerud. Snuggerud fires, Lamb almost deflected that in. Went just wide. You really would have liked to see Oliver Moore shoot that. He got the puck in the slot and just gave it right to Snuggerud. Snuggerud top of the circle. Spins a back pass for Renzel, and he tried to slide it. Slaggert, short-handed, is able to get it out. Just one too many passes so far on the power play for the Gophers would be my analysis. Snuggerud for Renzel. Makes a couple moves and puts on the break. 8 seconds and he scores! Sam Renzel just throws one at the net. Owen Say didn't see it at all. It looks like Matthew Wood's going to be the first one through the handshake line. He might have had a deflection on the play.
Yeah, it looked like
whatever works.
Yeah, Renzel from the blue line throws up the prayer. And Matthew Wood from about halfway gets a deflection, goes top left corner of Owen Say. The Gophers, with 6.4 left in the period, are within 1. Beautiful goal.
Huge goal to change the tide of this first period. That's Matthew Wood on the power play, his 15th on the season as time expires in the first. Matthew Wood from Renzel and Snuggerud. And a great job by Matthew Wood to box out Souliere, box out the defenseman, get a stick on it. And it seems like that's going to be one of the few ways the Gophers might beat Owen Say tonight, is with traffic in front. We'll head to the mid-period break. Shots read 13-9 in favor of the Maroon and Gold. They score with just 6 seconds left in period number 1. Wood from Renzel and Snuggerud. We'll see you back here in a couple minutes for our first period analysis and get you ready for the second. You're listening to Radio K Sports. Welcome back to 3M Arena at Mariucci. A 2-1 lead for the visitors. Notre Dame Fighting Irish got on top first, added one, and then the Gophers came back. Tim, how'd that happen?
So first, a minute and a half in, just an absolute, I don't even know what kind of play from Liam Soulier as Axel Kumlin shoves in a shot from the blue line in the corner. He gets his first goal as Soulier tried to close the glove and it just goes past him. That one was assisted by Cole Canoe, but we originally thought it was unassisted, but it was assisted. Then Notre Dame adds a second, just about 15 minutes in. Michael Mastro Domenico, assisted by Carter Slaggard and Ian Murphy. And then the Gophers on the power play with 6.4 left in the period. Matthew Wood gets a goal off a shovel in from Sam Renzel, also assisted by Jimmy Snuggerud.
So my analysis of the first period, obviously Soulier giving up that early goal and then giving up another one to Mastro Domenico isn't great, but you see the Gophers starting to generate momentum, generate chances. The pieces are there, and the power play looks great. There were a couple not so great passes, and maybe you could have put a couple more shots at Owen Say, but if you score a goal on the power play at the end of the day, that's a victory. And I think their zone time was on and off throughout the period. They had consistent zone time. That one flurry of shots that we mentioned had 4 of them in quick succession. In the power play, they had a couple shots. But the important thing for the Gophers is going to be limiting that transition defense to offense and giving Danny Nelson, Silanoff, Biondi, and the rest of the Notre Dame offensemen chance to get speed and get behind the Golden Gopher defense or just get momentum at them in odd-numbered rushes.
Yeah, that 3-on-2 attack, we've seen it, I believe, 5 or 6 times. But when Cal Thomas is back there, he's been able to get those sticks away, but the Irish get that one goal from Mastro Domenico after that 3-on-2. I just like to see more of that transition defense really from the Gophers, but on top of that, just to be able to keep the puck in the offensive zone, because if you get 4 shots in quick succession, that's where the Gophers thrived in the home series against these Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Paulson had a golden opportunity to get a goal, I believe 2 or 3 minutes left, that he just left and couldn't get a stick on. But if you keep generating those chances, odds of some of them going in are very, very high. And they've had 13 shots on goal. I believe that 6 of them could have been goals.
Notre Dame also has 5 blocks to just Minnesota's 1. So they've been getting in front of the puck, playing unselfish hockey as the teams will take the ice and switch sides for the second period. I think I wanted to see more effective zone entries for the Golden Gophers. Once they get in the zone, maybe it's been a couple times that Notre Dame's tried to clear it and then the Gophers have either a good stick, a glove and drop at the line here or there. That's how they were able to keep it in the zone, but those are mostly luck-based and just kind of being in the right spot, right place, right time type of zone entries and zone keeps rather than entering the zone cleanly, whether that's winning a dump and chase or just carrying it in yourself with speed. Guys like Oliver Moore, Jimmy Snuggerud, even Jimmy Clark, Matthew Wood, Brody Lamb can do that. And if you're going to do that, you've got to really spread the Notre Dame defensemen out. Take it along the boards, take a hit if you have to get it in the zone, and be willing to attack this Notre Dame defense.
And almost one of the things for me is going to be the 3rd and 4th line for the Gophers. Nevers and Hendrickson had a really good opportunity to get a goal that was just saved by Owen Say about halfway in that period. But that line's been very productive as of late.
Danny Nelson has it for the Fighting Irish to the point. Long shot, Fisher was loose. Soulier was tripped on the play, was able to make the save as Biondi was lurking in front. Outlet for Snuggerud, tried to find a saucer pass for Zemer. Loose behind the Notre Dame defense. Good stick, Mastro Domenico. In between the skates and now cleared out as harm's way. Here comes Biondi. Slides it all the way for Soulier. Referees yell for no icing. Long pass ahead. Renzel ramps off Zemer's stick. And the Gophers change to start the second.
A sloppy first minute of hockey from both teams. Not really any clear puck possession as Notre Dame once again has a pass go awry.
Kurth tried a tap pass to find Clark and Wood in quickly. Gophers outscore their opponents 50-35 in the second period, 50-27. Turnover and Notre Dame scores. I was looking at my notes as the Gophers turn it over below the net. Ali cleans up the loose change, and Souliere is going to skate to the bench.
If I'm not mistaken, that was Janicki who throws it off the boards to the left of Souliere. Just gets a perfect deflection in front for Brennan Ali. Swings it around, goes 5-hole. Souliere is not there.
And Souliere, I don't know if Bob Motzko told him during the break, if you give one more up, you're coming out. But Souliere, immediately after giving that goal up, hung his head and skated right to the bench. Nathan Airy, reprieve for Souliere. Unassisted goal, Brennan Ali, his 7th. Brody Lamb hit the referee with his dump-in opportunity as Notre Dame takes their second 2-goal lead of the game. Kester keeps it in, doesn't find Hendrickson out front. Huglin pinching in to keep things going. Hendrickson stick breaks. And Notre Dame comes up with it. I didn't see was it a defenseman pass or Souliere misplaying it?
It was really just a dump in by the defenseman. Ali takes it, swings with his back to the net, and just swings it in 5-hole on Souliere, catching him very unexpected, which is the second time he's given up a goal on really just where he looks confused.
17:40 to go in period number 2. Falloon made a good pinch-in play, but the puck lined up right next to Souliere on the bench. So Nathan Airy now in the game. Stands at 6'3", 185-pound sophomore from Cochrane, Alberta. Is 11-2-2 on the season with a 2.5 goals allowed average, 901 save percentage. Like we said, he got roughed up in that Michigan State game, and it's been Souliere's net ever since. So Airy might be a little cold. See how he handles Notre Dame's first shot. Middlestat can't come up with a face-off draw, and Notre Dame clears. There's no warm-ups for mid-period goalie switches, if I'm not mistaken. Middlestat in with speed around the net, trying to find Nevers. He fires a great slot opportunity, missed on the right. Middlestat long shot in, looking for a lucky deflection. Doesn't have it. Now 3-on-2, Notre Dame in with speed, looking for more. Their pass doesn't connect. Falloon for Nevers along the far boards, spins out of a check and dumps it back down low for Falloon. John Middlestat listed as the extra skater. Paulson not out on this shift for the Maroon and Gold as they change to the first line. Dumped in and way high into the net. We'll have a whistle with 16:41.
A decent opportunity created there by the fourth line. Luke Middlestat just throwing in a puck, hoping for a lucky bounce, but the Notre Dame defense stays strong, having 4 guys in the slot. The Gophers are really going to have to find some momentum here, now being down 2 again, which before this game they hadn't been down by more than 1 against Notre Dame.
Oliver Moore in with speed, far boards, easy stick save by Say. Ziemer tried to clean it up on the rebound and didn't find it. Snuggerud far boards, lays a hit there on Biondi, who stays on his feet. Renzel at the point, long shot in. Doesn't find Owen Say and stays in the corner for Moore. Moore battling close corner. Down low Ziemer, past him. Trying to fight his way around and again kept in by Luke Middlestat, but he handed it right to Danny Nelson. Middlestat and Knuble fighting. Nelson comes up with a loose puck. No penalty coming. Nelson wanted one. Middlestat with a defensive play. Now defense to offense. Drives in hard. Hit Owen Say. Say lost his goal stick. Now is able to recover. And Notre Dame gets back defensively effectively.
It's a heck of a coast-to-coast play by Luke Middlestat. Just creating an opportunity, but slid right into Owen Say as he lost the puck.
Clark in the defensive zone. Up ahead with some speed. Over for Wood. Spins backhand dump back for Jimmy Clark. Wild prospect. Love to see him in the green and red in the future. Clark again, who's been active on this shift. Nice little spin move and spins again out of harm's way. His pass to the point completely missed everybody. Kurth picks his pocket. Wood, top of the circle, looking for a shot, missed it. Another one. Owen Say gobbles that up.
Gosh, Clark's pass just had no juice on it, as I thought Notre Dame was going to take it in transition, but it's kept in the zone brilliantly by Connor Kurth. Swings it over to Snuggerud, but there's someone in the way. He doesn't want that shot. Tries to get it right past him. I believe it might have been Slaggert in there. And then Notre Dame fends off another very good chance from Minnesota.
Clean face-off win, but exits the zone for the Maroon and Gold. Under 15 minutes to go, period number 2. Notre Dame has opened up their second 2-goal lead. Both of our score predictions still in the cards. Gonna need 4 straight from the Gophers for Tim, and 4-1 in the rest of the game for mine.
I'm not too optimistic about mine.
Gophers can turn on their offense. They showed it in one of the games against Notre Dame. No icing called by the referees. He was well behind the blue line after the Notre Dame dump in. I didn't really see that. Kester works it free. His pass deflected, and Gruba has to give him help. Off the boards, Kuglin. Slings it in. All 5 skaters change for Minnesota. Shots 15-12, still in favor of the Gophers. Tyler Carpenter, Palatine, Illinois native, works it ahead, and we'll have a defensive zone draw for the Irish. I think it was played with a high stick.
Not sure. I think the referee may have thought it went into the Minnesota bench. So he's having a conversation down there with Luke Middlestat and Mike Kester.
Chance here on the draw. 4th line for the Gophers against the 1st line for the Fighting Irish. Tied up by Paulson. He tried a shot. Kumlin got his stick on Paulson's hands and he couldn't get it away. Nevers trying to generate a loose opportunity. Now Middlestat slides Paulson. Paulson almost a good move. Couldn't dance around Ryan Hellawell. Axel Kumlin, long dump out. Middlestat, gloves and drops. He can't get it in the offensive zone. A fight for it at center ice. And John Middlestat with it again. Top circle, pad save by Owen Say. Had to stretch for that. Chesley keeps the pressure on. Pinches in the circle, in the slot. Lost the handle. Danny Nelson. Spin move on Middlestat. Middlestat stays home and plays it well. And forces Danny Nelson out of the zone. Ali along the far boards. Waits and now deflected in by Janicki. Haven't called his name too much. He leads their team with 15 goals on the season. Number 8 has not been super visible. The Gophers, I think, are going to get called for too many men here, actually.
Yep.
Second too many men call in the game. This is exactly what you didn't need. A miscommunication by the Gopher bench, and the hits keep coming.
Not sure who they're going to catch here on this. As the Gophers try to make a quick change with the puck in the neutral zone.
Well, how the too many men penalty works is it's not the guy who was infraction. It was his infraction. It's whoever the coach decides should sit in the box. Most oftentimes a lower line guy, and that'll be August Falloon. In the box, 2 minutes for too many men. 12:46, Notre Dame's first power play opportunity. They are 23.8% on the season. Close shot in on Airy, cleared away and all the way down by Cal Thomas. It'll be Thomas, Chesley, Lamb, and Clark. First penalty kill unit. Clark almost came up with a lazy back pass from Paul Fisher. Notre Dame's able to get to it first. Nelson rings the boards. Biondi down low. Lamb gonna try and win a loose puck battle and does. Effective clear. Gophers, like we said pregame, just 75% on the penalty kill. Really a weak spot for them. Far circle, Knuble. Up top, Danny Nelson. Farther to the point for Fisher. Him and Nelson play a little catch. Nelson with a one-timer. Good block, Cal Thomas. Janicki. Fisher a long shot. Dives in traffic, and it's off the goalpost. Watch out, Airy. And he just gets it out of harm's way. Knuble with a short pass. Doesn't find Biondi's stick. I think that caught iron on the deflection out front, and the Gophers relieve the pressure.
Yeah, that was off the top right corner. I believe that was Biondi in the front of the net. Boy, the Irish are going to wish they had that one to extend this to a 3-goal lead.
40 seconds left on the penalty. Another back pass. Hughlin almost had enough speed to jump on it. And now Hughlin does have it. 2-on-2, toe drag. Shovels it towards Owen Say's short side blocker. He's able to turn it aside. Hughlin will pin it up in against the boards with 20 seconds to go. He lost it. 3-on-3. Strand for Ali. Ali along the close boards. 10 seconds till Falloon is free. Middlestat clears again, and this has been a very strong Gopher penalty kill with the exception of that dangerous chance out front.
Heck of a job by Hughlin, just being in the right spot at the right time. Just wasting about 25 seconds of that penalty on what actually turned out to be a very good chance as the Gophers get a transition.
Falloon with Snuggerud, 2-on-2, looking for a pass, doesn't find it, tried to find a pinching Paulson. Now Notre Dame the other way. Carpenter rings the boards. Ian Murphy gives it right back down low for Carpenter, tried to feed out front. Good stick by Kester. And dumped around the boards again for Silanoff. Haven't called his name too much this evening either. Edina, Minnesota native. And we are halfway through this contest, barring the extra session. Gophers down 3-1, shots read 16-13. Renzel dumps as the Gophers create or start their changes and try and adjust after the penalty kill. Gruba down low, slides to the far side for Kester. Kester errant pass there. Clark unable to come up with it. Janicki in with speed. Backhand shovel shot. Good stick, Kester. Just wide and high. Janicki again fighting with Clark down low. Ali in the far corner for Notre Dame. Bumped down by Connor Kurth. Ali plays to the point, Master Domenico. Good move around Connor Kurth. Hesitates, fires, and up into the netting. We'll have a mid-period break with 9:12 as the Gophers give up a goal to Brennan Ali and a goaltender change as Soulier handed it to him right on the doorstep. 3-1 Fighting Irish in Game 1 of the quarterfinals. You're listening to Radio K Sports. Welcome back to Minneapolis. There's plenty of other Big Ten action and action around college hockey as the conference tournaments are happening. Tim, what do you got?
One of the couple big surprises for me, number 5 Maine is down 4-1 against number 16 UMass. From the Big Ten tournament, Penn State and Michigan are in a high-powered offensive battle, 5-5 with 50 seconds left in the third period. They'll likely go to overtime. And then a surprise in the 3-6 matchup, number 9 Ohio State is down 3-1 against Wisconsin with just over 2 minutes left in that contest.
So Western Michigan, who is number 4 right now, who would take the Gophers spot in Fargo most likely, is blowing the doors off of Miami, Ohio, 8-3, taking care of business against the Ohioans. Shot in from the point. Good save by Airy. Really the first time he's been challenged off Paul Fisher's stick. Moore shovels it out. Snuggerud loose puck. Just too far to generate an offensive opportunity in the close corner. Chesley, point to point, Thomas. Thomas shot in. High and wide on the glove side. Snuggerud pinches in. Zemer fires. Blocker save. Owen Say. Great play there by Snuggerud. And Zemer just denied, looking for his 12th.
Geez, a great offensive pressure there from the Gophers as Zemer, man, he just missed the one-timer.
Cal Thomas, who's been a great defenseman, stretch past Hendrickson. 1-on-2, he's taken down on the play. No call coming from the referees, and the fans can't believe it.
It looked clean to me as Hendrickson, I think, just tripped on himself as he angrily heads to the bench. He even looks injured. Oh, no.
Came off favoring one of his legs. I think it's his right or his left leg
is hurt.
Taken down on the play by Hellewell and sandwiched there by Kumlin.
That's not a pretty sight to see as he falls just on his left side. His left skate just coming out from under him, and he lands just on that lower part of his leg on the side. That's going to hurt. From personal experience, that hurts a lot.
Mason Nevers slides a pass, looking for Huglin. Almost found its way in the back of the net. Nelson almost put it past his own man. Middlestat just does keep it in, but it finds its way in the netting. I think one player that I'd highlight for the Gophers, whose name I've called a couple times now, I think Cal Thomas is having a very good game. On the penalty kill, he was great. He had 3 clears there. Has been really solid on the back end. The Maple Grove, Minnesota native in his 102nd game overall has a goal and 8 assists on the season.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Cal Thomas has at least 2 blocks here. Had the lone block for the Gophers in the first period, but he's really been the best defensive player for the Gophers against that 3-on-2 attack that the Notre Dame Irish keep finding.
That's got to be a hand pass. Wood almost found it. And now we're going to have a hand pass called by the referees. Hellewell tried to settle it down and basically just put his hand over the puck. Wood almost ended up with a loose puck and put it in.
Yeah, he was just sitting right to the left of Owen Say. I'm not really sure what he was doing as Jimmy Clark is putting some pressure right on him. Oh, Matthew Wood was right there open if Clark had been able to get to him, but gosh, Hellewell's just sitting there. I don't know how that's legal.
Yeah, if you cover the puck and you're on the ground, it would theoretically be a delay of game. Clark helps out Snuggerud. Gruba, short pass for Wood. Back for Clark. Gophers showing some motion and some energy. Clark wraparound, faked it, now up to the point for Middlestat. Middlestat shot blocked. Clark trying to come up with a loose puck, still has it. Great effort out of Jimmy Clark on this shift alone. Close circle for Gruba. Switches places with Wood. Wood looks for a sharp angle shot. Save. Owen Say. Gruba tried to clean it up on the backhand. Say got in front of it. And he covers up a fight along the boards and some pushing and shoving. Maybe that'll get the crowd into it, but really good play there by Clark, Gruba, and Wood along the close boards, just switching positions, keeping Notre Dame on their heels. Gruba almost cleaned one up from the front of the net.
Yeah, and I believe that was my underrated player of the game was Jimmy Clark. Man, a heck of an effort on that shift. I believe he got that shot up right off the face mask of Owen Say. Yeah, right off the face mask. Owen Say with a couple of very, very nice saves on that Leo Gruba backhand. But going back to that one where I thought it was interference, or delay of game, excuse me, I don't think Hellewell ever had possession really of the puck with his hand. So I think that's why the referees let it play out.
There was a scramble for it, to be fair, and the referee was on the far side as we have a board battle, 2-on-2 either side. The referee was on the far side, so Owen Say may have blocked and maybe even helped out his team. Paulson works it loose to the point. Cal Thomas long shot, almost deflected by Nevers. past Owen Say, just found its way wide. But I wonder if the referees didn't have a great look at it. The other referees absolutely should have, but the back judge from the goal line did not. Nevers in the offensive zone. Gophers starting to generate some pressure. Thomas, another shot in, just wide. Paulson slides a short pass. Nevers short-sided. Shoulder save by Owen Say. If Nevers lifts that maybe a couple inches higher. Short shot by Falloon this time. As Nevers is taken down behind the play, he looks to the referee as if to say, where was that one? Crowd again starting to get into it. 6:08 and counting.
Yeah, Nevers was pinned down by, I believe that was Henry Nelson. He just kept pushing down on him and not letting him do anything.
Moore. And Master Domenico didn't clear the zone. Kester tried to fire it back in and missed on it. Crowd gives a nice little smattering of applause to Nathan Airy after he makes a basic glove save. Or basic blocker save, excuse me, after Soulier's goal that he gave up. Renzel at the point. Again, Gophers on the offensive attack. They're up to 21 shots. And Notre Dame's kind of been playing park the bus since the media timeout. Zemer close corner. Point, Renzel. Good move, tripped up. And a penalty coming here against the Fighting Irish. Snuggerud will exit the zone. Here comes Airy. Gophers will get their second look at the power play if they don't deposit one soon. Snuggerud chips it in, and that's Janicki that'll touch up.
Yeah, they're going to get Brennan Ali for taking out Sam Renzel's back leg. The Gophers have an opportunity to get within one here yet again with 5:09 left in the period.
And Ali was dead tired on that shift. Those Notre Dame skaters had been out there for a while. And the Gophers look to get their second on the power play. 1 for 1 so far, and it's their only tally on Matthew Wood's goal from Snuggerud and Renzel. They'll send out the same power play 1 unit in an attempt to beat Owen Say for the second time and cut the deficit to 1 again. Face-off 1, Wood at the point, looking for a shot, doesn't see it, and didn't have a communication with Renzel, but Renzel recovers. Snuggerud top of the far circle. Short pass Moore, up to the point Renzel. Wood top of the other circle, knocked down on the play, but that's a totally fair and legal hit, just kind of lost his balance. Snuggerud far boards, slings Wood. Wood for Renzel, right back to Wood, pass didn't connect. It's been a lot of passing here early on. Moore spins around and finds Wood along the close boards. Top of the circle again, looking for a shot, pad save by Owen Say. Wood comes up with the rebound, and right now it just looks like Notre Dame's penalty kill is on their heels. Wood fires, glove save by Owen Say. Had a beat to put a shot on. Lamb tries to play to the point, and Danny Nelson gets around Renzel, but the puck's right along the boards. Driving in against Airy, and he makes a save shorthanded. Nelson again loose, and Snuggerud's going to take a penalty. That's outstanding hustle from Danny Nelson on the play, and that's going to end the Gopher power play.
Yeah, Danny Nelson just getting a good win. So I believe that was Renzel trying to fight with him to keep it in the offensive zone. And then just gets a one-on-one opportunity, gets the rebound too after Airy makes a good save. And then Snuggerud just on the ground makes a lazy attempt to try and stop Nelson from scoring again, and he'll go to the box.
Good save by Airy on the attempt from Danny Nelson. Was on his knees and just kind of threw his stick at the puck. Airy had to make a blocker save. Face-off won by the Fighting Irish. 4-on-4 for just under a minute. Great block, Aaron Huglin, off of Henry Nelson. For Strand, point-to-point, Master Domenico shot in, saved by Airy up high.
And this is an opportunity for the Gophers to really win a face-off and just get an offensive breakaway in the 4-on-4. I know the Gophers don't thrive in less men on the ice situations, as we've discussed earlier from overtime. We love to see them try and steal a goal here before they have to defend the power play for just over a minute.
For those of you invested in high school hockey, tough news for my alma mater, high school. St. Thomas Academy loses to Stillwater 4-0 in a shutout. 2-seed Stillwater will advance to the championship and play the winner of Edina and Hibbing. Master Domenico regroups. 20 seconds left in the minor penalty to Ali. Gophers will have just over a minute of their second penalty kill. Short pass, Knuble across the line, and they were in early. Janicki across the blue tape early with 3:16 left in period number 2. Shots 22-18, maroon and gold, but have really been yet to find a way past Owen Say, and that's the difference. Owen Say is playing an excellent game so far, and if he continues this into the third, I would certainly put him as the first star of the game for the Fighting Irish.
Oh, for sure. Owen Say's just been absolutely outstanding, going coast to coast behind those poles, or excuse me, in front of those poles.
Janicki, close circle, now close corner, trying to work his way around Chesley. Gophers now on the penalty kill after Ali gets out of the box. Fisher right next to his bench, gets it back from Knuble. And a lot of passing umbrella strategy from the Fighting Irish. Good stick, Clark. And Danny Nelson recovers. Short pass across for Knuble would have been an incredible sharp angle shot. Cal Thomas got a stick there. Loose puck in the slot. Lamb comes up with it, slaps it around the boards. Knuble denies that zone clear. 18 seconds left in Snuggerud's tripping. Knuble top of the close circle, looking for a shot. Now Fisher winds and whiffs. Lamb one-on-one. 7 seconds left. Tries a shot in just high of Owen Say's glove side. Snuggerud out of the box, and the Gophers kill the short Notre Dame power play effectively as Knuble dumps it in. Under 2 minutes to go in period 2. Gophers looking for another late goal to get it within 1. Oliver Moore in with speed, trying to dance his way free. Doesn't find it. Another penalty coming up against Notre Dame. Short pass, Middlestad, he fires, and Owen Say comes up with another one.
Gosh, Middlestad tried to go 5-hole on Owen Say, and he's just quick enough with the butterfly save. The Gophers will get another opportunity here at the end of the period with 1:42 left to try and get within 1 again.
Goes against Slaggert for slashing. Almost an identical time. 1:42 to go as Slaggert takes Oliver Moore's stick out of his hands. And this is what was happening in the first 2 games. Notre Dame was stacking up penalties left and right. The Gophers had 7 power play opportunities in the second game, had a major and I believe 5 opportunities in the first one. Moore with a great face-off win to start it. Renzel, point. Snuggerud wanted a one-timer, right back for Renzel. Wood, he fires. Just wide of Owen Say. Snuggerud winds up with it. Far circle. Notre Dame with a very conservative, tight diamond on their penalty kill. Moore fighting for it, kept in Renzel. Snuggerud tried a one-timer on the pass across from Renzel. Never really set his feet. Kurth to the point, Renzel again. Far blue, now shot in off the stick and into the netting with 1:05.
Yeah, Notre Dame definitely getting conservative. They don't want to give up that late goal again, especially being the kind of team they are that likes to play defensive and transition hockey. Love to have that 2-goal lead going into the third period, only having really to defend 1:40 of the power play. The first 12 seconds of the period not as important.
Gophers control again. Oliver Moore for Snuggerud, and now up top Renzel. Wood looking for a shot, doesn't see it. Gophers thus far 1 for 3 on the power play. Snuggerud fires, tried to find Connor Kurth on the backdoor deflection. Didn't connect. Moore looking short side, backhand saved by Owen Say. On the short opportunity, Moore just kind of found his way in the slot. Notre Dame clears. 30 seconds to go in the period. Gophers could really use another late one. They'll get about 15 seconds of a power play to start the third. Renzel keeps in, dumps down low. Master Domenico the first one on it, and he clears all the way down. Airy settles it down. Same power play unit out there. Now a couple guys, Clark notably coming on. Snuggerud gets around Nelson. Sharp angle shot. to nobody. 2 seconds left. Renzel's got a fire and blocked out in front. Period will expire. Gophers still down in this one against the 7 seed Fighting Irish. 3-1 the score after 2 periods. We'll be back with a period recap and get you ready for the third. Gophers still need 2 to tie here from 3M Arena at Mariucci. Welcome back to 3M Arena at Mariucci. Jack Bartlett, Tim Sir with you. First best of 3 game, and the Fighting Irish have come into Mariucci Arena and outplayed the Gophers on the score sheet. Maybe not outplayed them on the stat sheet, but they're up 3-1 at the end of 2. Tim, what did we have in the second?
All we had was the goal just before the end of the period.
No, that was early.
Excuse me, early in the period from Brennan Ali as he got an unassisted goal that was just absolutely beautiful. Gets the puck off the boards, goes behind the back, and just catches Soulier's 5-hole. Forces him to get subbed out. I
think Soulier actually mishandled it. I think he played it behind the net and kind of gave it right to Ali. He was able to corral it, shovel it through Soulier's 5-hole. And like I mentioned, Soulier immediately slammed his stick on the ground and head down skated back to the bench. He knew that back-to-back 2 mistakes like the one with the long shot and then that one giving it right to Ali, that would seal his night. He just didn't have it. And he leaves the game with 7 saves on 10 shots, gives up 3 goals. And Nathan Airy has saved all 7 Notre Dame shots since then. Gophers still ahead in that department as well, 24-18. And they'll have 18 seconds, speaking of it, of a power play to start the period as Carter Slaggert's penalty expires.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things really for me is the Gophers in general showed up ready to play this game. They've been very, very good. 24 shots in the first 2 periods. A lot of very, very, very good opportunities, but it's just those 2 boneheaded, really, errors by Soulier. 1.5 minutes into the game, missing basically a pop fly in baseball that should be routine for anybody, especially with a hockey glove being bigger than a baseball glove.
And you think that kind of set the tone for Notre Dame for the rest of the night.
For sure.
Regardless of what happened in the rest of the game, they still scored first. And they got past Soulier. Any goaltender, no matter how mentally sound they are, that's going to nag at them for the rest of the game. Like, I took a shot from outside the blue line and just flat missed it. And Soulier probably still had that in his head when he gave Brennan Ali a golden opportunity, and just after that said, I don't have it tonight. And there are goalies that are going to have to go through those, but I think it's a bigger measure to see what does Bob Motzko do tomorrow. Regardless of if the Gophers are able to come back in this game, does Airy start again, or does he go back to Soulier and try and get a confidence boost? I think it's based on if the Gophers win. If they win, I think they start Airy. Actually, I'm going to flip it. I think if they win, they start Soulier to try and give him his confidence back with a game to play. If they lose, I think it's Airy's net.
I think it really depends on if Airy gives up a goal in this 3rd period as the faceoff is won by Notre Dame. But, gosh, you just have to win the game tomorrow, no matter if you win or lose this game, because you know your players are shaken up a little bit after being down for 2 goals most of this game. Got to give them some confidence.
Power play expires after Notre Dame clears. In comes Carter Slaggert. Middlestats can't hold the point. And he's now watched by Danny Nelson. Slides for Kester, far side, ahead for Nevers. Kurth, nice little toe drag, lost the handle as he tried to dance around Fisher. Oliver Moore around the circle and not quite taken down behind the net. Again, it looks like the Gophers are the faster of the 2 teams. Chesley's shot in, blocked maybe by Nevers, maybe by Fisher in front of the net. And Justin Janicki works it out for Nelson, who dumps it down. I think Notre Dame, especially in years past, with Ryan Bischel between the pipes, their strategy of defense is snugger it in on a rush. Master Domenico beats him to the puck. But in years past, where Ryan Bischel played so solidly between the pipes, Notre Dame was an incredibly frustrating team to play against because they would just sit back, let Bischel do his work, and beat teams 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 in just barn burner defensive games, and they're kind of trying to go back to that identity now.
Yeah, 2018 Milwaukee Brewers-esque. Very weird comparison, but that's what I'm going to go with.
Baseball to hockey, sometimes it works out. Renzel misses Zemer, and that'll be an icing with 18-16 to go in period number 3. You just feel that if the Gophers get one, get within a goal, maybe that reinvigorates the crowd, gets the players fired up, but looks to be a tall task.
Yeah, me personally, Jeff Jackson, the Notre Dame head coach, you had mentioned pregame that he has coached his 1,000th career game. He's at 599 victories. I would love to stop him from getting 600 this season. But we'll see if the Gophers can do that.
Draw controlled by the Fighting Irish. Shot dies in traffic. Zemer gets it out. Might have had Snuggerud and Hughlin on a 2-on-1. Just had to get it out of harm's way and couldn't find him. Renzel to Kester along the far boards. Snuggerud, maybe a little bit of line shuffling going here for the Gophers. They've got Snuggerud, Hughlin, and Hendrickson out right now. Good to see Hendrickson back after he took the scary fall 1-on-2. Looks like his leg is all right.
Yeah, the freshman from, I believe it's Minnetonka, has just been such an impact player this year. So glad to see him fine after that, really, really scary fall on that 1-on-2.
Teams can't really get through the neutral zone. Now Renzel gets it ahead for Lamb. Lamb around the boards for Hendrickson. Right back to Aaron Hughlin, still on the ice. Long shift for number 7. To the point for Hendrickson, who had to switch places with Gruba. And the Gophers, again, a lot of zone time. Haven't had a shot yet, maybe a chance there. Lamb tried to find a pinching Hendrickson in the slot. Didn't connect, and Gruba has to regroup in the Gopher defensive zone.
It's just too many passes. I think that's my analysis of tonight.
Wood fires high. Yeah, it's like the Gophers are looking for that tap-in goal. Sure, deflected shot from Connor Kurth off Jimmy Clark's stick, handled and held by Owen Say, but it seems like they're looking for the tap-in goal that you can't possibly miss. Try and get Owen Say moving horizontally, maybe get him down, try and find a screen in front, but at some point the Gophers are going to turn to desperation mode and start firing at him, and who knows, they might have more success. They've got 25 shots on him. 24 of those he's kept out of the cage.
That's really where Notre Dame's found success, is just firing at the goalie. I mean, they have 18 shots today, but just firing at the goalie has been the most successful thing. That's how they've gotten 2 of their goals.
Nevers far circle, or that's Connor Kurth rather. Slot chance, dies in traffic. Wood is tied up out front by Axel Kumlin. Taken to the ground, no call coming.
It's interesting. It looks like he was getting double teamed by Kumlin and Silinoff. Just gets shoved down.
Stretch pass for Paulson, 1-on-1. Puts on the brakes, back pass, tried to find Nevers, who had a step on Ali and didn't connect. Nevers fires, blocked by Henry Nelson. Back down low, Paulson. Fighting with Janicki, arm fighting. Hellawell winds up with it, and the Fighting Irish clear the zone again. Really just defensive. Janicki slings it towards the front. Knuble almost deflected it past Airy. I think Chesley may have gotten a piece of it. Here come the Gophers. Chesley across the line. Trying to find it. Hounded there by Slaggert. And he's able to keep him off it. Actually, that's Plusinski, who has really acted as the extra skater for the Fighting Irish tonight. Snuggerud, with some help from Chesley, dumps it down again for Zemer. Zemer close corner. Worked free more. Now to the point. Thomas can't keep it in. Chesley has to regroup, and like we said, Notre Dame's defense has been outstanding. Snuggerud fires, blocker save, Owen Say into the netting. Top of the circle shot for Snuggerud. That's his wheelhouse.
Heck of a snag by a fan as it rattled around the netting. But back to the point I was trying to make earlier, it's just those extra passes. I like the last opportunity Gophers just had with Snuggerud in open space. Those are the kind of shots that were going in the first 4 games against Notre Dame. I don't understand why Gophers are not confident enough or what it is. Just not trusting themselves on offense, but you love to see that.
Clean face-off draw win. Gophers still hold the advantage after Notre Dame wins it and clears. Reads 22-25. in favor of the maroon and gold, but the only time they've won the face-off battle was when they lost. Slaggert one-time opportunity off Fisher's stick and whiffed on it. More by the benches. Out Snuggerud. Try to get it all the way back to the other side for Moore. Master Domenico read that. Cover to cover. And he'll bring it up. Scored the second goal. Finds a man. Saved by Airy. Off a short pass. Found a Notre Dame Fighting Irish player. That was Strand. Hughlin tries to dive and keep the pressure on against Hellawell after he lost the handle on it. Notre Dame again clears, 13:52 remaining in period number 3. Notre Dame stood very strong in this period so far, has not let the Gophers keep the zone for long. Again exited and an effective counterattack coming here. Danny Nelson driving the net in front loose. Airy able to put a paw on it and freeze.
Notre Dame really switching their strategy as compared to the second period. Very content clearing the puck and staying in their offensive zone, which is not something we've seen. Most of this game has been not what we've seen from Notre Dame, since they normally are not holding leads. But it's been very effective, keeping Nathan Airy busy here in the early going.
Illegal draw. Referee says, on my count you go. Now having a pretty lengthy chat with Danny Nelson about going early. Tie up, and Nelson winds up with it. Close boards, hounded by Gruba. Now gives him a strong shove into the boards. Well played by the youngster from Lake Elmo. Kurth, backhand pass in the slot, almost in the blue paint, and bodies kind of falling everywhere for both teams. Notre Dame comes up with it. Long shot in, handled by Airy, and he gloves and drops. Here comes Paulson, 3-on-2 with Wood. Wood might have been offsides there. Something to keep an eye on if the Gophers are able to come up with something here. Chesley, far blue. Long shot was pretty weak and easily handled by Ali in front of Kurth. Ali in with speed, far corner. Kurth pins it. Now fight for it, 2 men either side. You just look forward to next game, regardless of what happens here, as Janicki turns it over, gets it to the point, Fisher down low. What do you say if you're Bob Motzko heading into the next game?
You know, I think a lot of this, in this really maybe 35% capacity crowd, is just the Gophers are showing just that they don't really want it.
Fisher a shot, glove saved by Airy. Gets it out of harm's way, and Master Domenico can't hold the zone. Not really much happening for Notre Dame offensively, and a dangerous opportunity for Paul Fisher from the point. Snuggerud by the benches, back past Nevers. Nevers, Rinzel fires and scores! Sam Rinzel cuts the lead to 1. He's produced both of the goals on his shots. And the Gophers all of a sudden back in this one with 11:44 to go in period 3.
Sam Rinzel, man, am I excited to see him on the Blackhawks in the future. But it's just those opportunities that he's getting off to the left side. And like I had said, just getting those shots in from outside on Owen Say is how the Gophers were going to climb back into this. As he does that, gets it top right of the goal. It's going to be assisted by Mason Nevers and Jimmy Snuggerud, his second. Assist by Snuggerud. That's a heck of a goal by Rinzel.
Rinzel's 10th on the season. That's an outstanding season from the Golden Gopher defenseman. Wears number 2, and he's been really one of the premier defensemen for the Gophers this season. Cuts the lead to 1. All of a sudden, we've got a brand new hockey game, and let it be known, the credit goes to Snuggerud and Nevers, coordinating on the back pass and then finding Rinzel pinching in from the blue line, giving it to him right in the slot, and Renzel makes no mistake.
Yeah, it was a beautiful pass from Nevers, who I believe was your pick for underrated player of the game.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, beautiful passes. The
More
Gophers are back in the
toe
offensive
drag,
zone.
far circle. Sorry to cut you off, Tim. Gophers in the offensive zone on the attack. Deflected shot off Gruba's stick. Paulson Ziemer got a piece of it. He's hit up high. Gruba fires. Ramps off a stick and out. Really looked like Ziemer took a hit up high there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was around the M, which technically the referees are going to let him play, which I kind of agree with here in such a big game. But going back to what,
Yeah, just strong hit by Danny Nelson, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying,
Ziemer.
for what Mozco would say, I now think that's completely different being a one-goal game.
Kester fires, deflected and covered by Owen Say. Shots 28-21 with 10:51 to go. Keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the Gophers look like, it's not that just that they don't want it, but they're playing like they expected to come in here and just absolutely roll the Irish. And for a team that beat you here the last time they played in overtime in a tough battle, that's really not how the Gophers should have wanted to come in. And that's what Mozco should just remind them to have, that fire that they really had last weekend against Penn State in that second game.
Notre Dame had it in the offensive zone briefly. Kester comes up with it. Played with a high stick by Notre Dame, and they'll have to reset out of the zone. Kester switches sides, take a strong hit behind the play, and there's a bit of fighting behind the play going on between him and Murphy. Now Notre Dame clears the zone again, just about halfway through period number 3. Sam Renzel's 10th of the season. Cuts the deficit to 1, but the Golden Gophers still got to get one past number 30. Chance for Slaggert, who fires. Right pad save Airy, or that's Knuble. Janicki taken down in the corner by Chesley. Chesley waits smartly and plays to Huglin. Dumps out, tried to get Wood. Ali sticks it down and flings it along the boards again. Knuble fighting with Cal Thomas. Thomas works it free for Huglin. Now an outlet pass for Kurth, 2-on-2. He's got Wood, driving past Master Domenico strong. Taken down in the corner, well played by the Fighting Irish. Hellewell went there to help Master Domenico. This line looks to be unchanged from the start of the game with Kurth, Clark, and Wood. Mozco probably still experimenting. That last goal was with Snuggerud with getting the assist. Nevers getting an assist, so a bit of a shuffle going on the top lines, possibly. Notre Dame clears the neutral zone. Gruba has to reset from behind the net. Up ahead for Nevers, who has shown a step. He's had a couple good opportunities. And now it looks like Mozco going back with the starting lineup. But the starting lines, maybe 2-on-2 brewing. Falloon, Nevers, Gruba trying to join the rush. Nevers, short pass, Middlestat, tried to give it back to Falloon in the slot. And Notre Dame clears again. It really looks like Notre Dame, especially now up 1, they're just looking to get it out of the zone with whatever mustard they can.
Yeah, just a huge shift after that goal from Renzel, and the way Notre Dame's been playing this, they look much more frantic and just, gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. They look frantic, but they're still trying to push the offensive wave and try to take a 2-goal lead here, not shifting really into their defensive ways that they normally have.
Snuggerud, top of the far circle, finds Renzel, has some space, fires, blocked. Renzel was looking for another one there, almost identical play. He shoots again. That's wide, and Ziemer just lost an edge. Fans want a tripping, but it wasn't there, and Snuggerud just mishandles it. You just can't have that if you're Jimmy Snuggerud. Try and keep the pressure on. Just mishandles it out of the zone. Now quickly back, Moore. Moore drives in, good stick by Paul Fisher, and again out. Icing waved off. Renzel will get there in time. Long pass ahead, Snuggerud, who's going to have a lot of the time here down the stretch, so long as the Gophers are down. Janicki, captain for the Fighting Irish. Again, still haven't called his name much Gophers have done a good job limiting number 8. Goal leader and shoots 23.4% from the ice. That's great player is Janicki from Maple Grove, Minnesota, as the Gophers reset again below their net. Hendrickson, short pass, Lamb. Lamb trying to come up with a loose puck, taken down in the corner and goes down in a heap behind the play. Student section really wants a whistle on Master Domenico, and that'll be offsides. Boy, that was a long time after the mid-period break. Now 6:36 to go, period 3. 3-2 on Rinzel's 10th of the season. You're listening to Radio K Sports from Minneapolis. Welcome back to Minneapolis. I'm going to hand it over to Tim for another scoreboard update around the world of college hockey. What do you got, Tim?
Couple big matchups. The one I had mentioned earlier where Maine was down 4-1, they lost 5-1 to UMass. Penn State pulls it out in overtime over Michigan, takes the 1-0 series lead on the 11th ranked Michigan Wolverines, and Ohio State loses to Wisconsin 4-1. The number 9 ranked Buckeyes are going to have some work ahead of them in the series, as well as Michigan.
Maybe a lot of upsets brewing here in the Big Ten playoffs as Notre Dame wins face-off draw and rings the boards again. Out, Hendrickson made a good play along the boards after Kumlin tried to dump it in, and Notre Dame does so once more. Reverse hit attempt there from Biondi. Middlestat was able to duck out of the way of it. Danny Nelson fires, glove save Airy, who has been perfect so far.
Yeah, going back to the Big Ten tournament picture, if I'm Michigan State, I'm absolutely loving this. If the higher seeds don't fall, it's a good thing for Michigan State, even if they go to 3 games. Tire them out at least a little bit before Michigan State would have to face likely the lowest seed available.
On the way over here, Tim and I were discussing who our picks were. The Michigan State-Penn State series is a super intriguing one to me. Penn State's been really hot lately as the Gophers regroup after a face-off win. And Michigan, of course, has been a thorn in the Gophers' side in the Big Ten tournament the last couple years. And then Wisconsin, we really didn't give a shot against Ohio State, and they dominate them really much through all 3 periods and win that 4-1. Kurth shot in, easily handled, generous rebound. Wood in the slot fires. Boy, he was looking top corner and missed it all. Matthew Wood with a golden opportunity in the slot. Just missed upper 90.
Oh my goodness, Matthew Wood just puts too much lift on that shot. That was a beautiful opportunity created in the slot.
Again, it's been a lot of the back pass style of things. Moore slides for Snuggerud, fires, and he missed it again. Another chance in the slot for the Golden Gophers off a great passing play, and they just can't hit the net. Snuggerud's going to want to have that one back especially. That was wide open. Basically nobody between him and Owen Say. Tried to go high blocker.
And that's not one Snuggerud normally misses, shooting 21%. Goodness, that was 2 great opportunities for the Gophers. Now up to 29 shots on goal. Just haven't been able to put enough behind Owen Say. But the pressure with just under 5 minutes left is what you want. Starting to get frantic here. Or desperate, I believe would be a better word.
Yes, it would. Notre Dame wins the faceoff and tries to kill some more time behind the net and set up a play. See what Matsko decides and how early he wants Airy to head to the bench should the Gophers still be down 1. Gruba lost his stick after he had to pinch off Silanoff. Gruba reverse hit. No penalty coming. Looked like Danny Nelson wanted a high hit, and Snuggerud is run into at the blue line. A little answer. Teams starting to play the physical side now, responding to each other's responses and what have you. Snuggerud across the blue line. With speed around Nelson, almost found his way through a gap in Owen Say. Looked like it caught him off balance on the blocker. Down low for Hendrickson. Pass to the slot, doesn't find anybody, but Chesley winds up with it. Cal Thomas across for Chesley. Short pass, Huglin. And with speed, Huglin is taken into the boards. Fans want a holding call, and miscommunication there between Hendrickson and Lamb. Winds up out of the zone. No icing. Chesley just beats Ali. Referees determined he could have gotten there. 3:36 to go. Cal Thomas now up ahead. Again, more good opportunities for the Golden Gophers. Huglin loose puck. Down low, Hendrickson. Wraparound try, tried to jam it home. Gets free for Huglin, up to Renzel. Point-to-point Kester. Skating in, far circle, short pass. Everybody's tied up out in front. And rattles around, and Notre Dame clears again. Boy, what do you got to do to get past this Notre Dame defense? Now especially, they're collapsing right in front of Owen Say. Just getting to loose pucks first as killing more time, under 3 minutes to go. Clear the zone again, no icing.
What?
Renzel probably could have reached at it, I would guess. 240. Wood with speed. Close boards. Looking for a back pass. Saucers it. Doesn't find Kester. Breakaway opportunity for Strand. Gruba racing back. Strand around him. Fires. Saved by Nathan Airy. Definitely the biggest challenge he's had tonight after filling in for Soulier. And keeps it a 1-goal contest. Gruba almost lost it right back to Strand as his pass hit the skate. 2:10, and Airy's looking towards the bench. Gruba in the zone. Far boards. Around for Middlestat. Short pass, Gruba. Wild deflection attempt. Doesn't go anywhere. Now fight for it in the corner. Moore is pinned there. Airy still looking towards the bench with 1:50. Middlestat can't keep the zone. And dumped out by Silanoff. Assuming on this next rush, the Golden Gophers get organized, Airy's going to skate with them up the ice.
Yeah, and they got to get that going as soon as possible with just over 1.5 minutes left.
That's offsides on Zemer. Just a silly play by Brody Zemer. Tried to dance his way around a man, and fans thought he kept it in. I didn't really have an angle at it here. We're blocked by the benches. With 1:32 left, Airy standing as close as he comfortably can to the Gopher bench.
And this is where the Gophers need to win this face-off, and they do.
Middlestat dumps it in. Airy still looking. Gophers don't control. He's headed to the bench, and Lamb hops on. We'll have 1:20 with the extra attacker to tie it, but as we talked about earlier, overtime and the shootout has not been kind. It's continuous overtime in the playoffs. Kumlin doesn't clear the zone. Moore down low, missed Lamb. Hellowell chips it, but not out. Renzel spins a blind pass. Now Hellowell gets it again. Sand wedged out. Middlestat on it, and has to ring a pass out of harm's way. Knuble pinching. Snuggerud across the blue line. Just missed Oliver Moore. Under 1 minute, 48 seconds. Point Renzel. Snuggerud one-timer blocked by Knuble. Boy, that one probably hurt. Middlestat tried to slide a short pass, didn't connect. Snuggerud fires again, up high. Deflected by Notre Dame. Pinned against the boards, or against the net. Middlestat can't work it free. 29 seconds to go. Renzel fighting for it. 2 men either side. Gophers need to work it free. Here come the Fighting Irish. Knuble has it loose, flips it, and it does not get towards the net. Gophers have 15 seconds to tie it and avoid going down 1-0. And the pass is intercepted and missed the open net, but that's going to do it time-wise. Knubel will just pin it up against the boards. And the Gophers are going to fall short. 3-2 is the final. Notre Dame comes into 3M Arena at Mariucci, gets a couple unfortunate and downright disastrous goaltender performances from Liam Souliere, and that's all they need. They win this one 3-2.
Hey, both of us were spot on. Or, excuse me, I was spot on with the Notre Dame goal prediction, but goodness. 32 shots on goal. So many beautiful opportunities for the Gophers to score, and they just cannot get past Owen Say. What a performance from him, honestly. Got to be the first star of the game.
Has to be. Owen Say made multiple great saves as the Gophers will head to the locker room very quickly after this one. They drop to the 7 seed, 4-19-1. Doesn't matter when it's a best-of-3 series. And they take this against the Golden Gophers.
And I think 4-19-1 does not reflect how good Notre Dame actually is. Just playing in the Big Ten, playing all these good teams all the time, the odds of them winning are just slightly less, but for some reason they love playing here at 3M, as they now have taken 2 out of 3 from the Gophers here in Minneapolis.
Lone goal of that third period was Sam Renzel's 10th of the season from Mason Nevers and Jimmy Snuggerud. Notre Dame just wound up ahead on the faceoff dot, 30-29. Notre Dame took 3 penalties. Gophers were 1 for 3 on the power play. Notre Dame 0 for 2. I think the big stat that stands out, Gophers had 4 blocks, Notre Dame 15.
Yeah, and part of that is just a masterful performance again by Paul Fisher. I feel like he was everywhere on the defensive side, getting a bunch of huge stops. And even Knubel had a great one on a Jimmy Snuggerud one-timer that had to have left a humongous bruise on him with the heat. But Notre Dame just was not afraid of the Gophers today. And that's why they won, really. They're just playing loose. They're playing free. They're the 7 seed. Have had so many struggles this season in the Big Ten. And when you play loose, you're bound to play good.
So we will not have a broadcast for next game against the Fighting Irish. If the Gophers do drop that game, I see them falling to 5, maybe even, I wouldn't say as far as 6, but definitely 5 is a definite possibility, and that would take them out of the 1 seed for the regionals, and therefore they wouldn't go to Fargo. And Renzel gets one of the stars of the game. I think that's absolutely deserved. Had a goal, an assist, 2 shots, +1. Snuggerud had 2 assists, +2 on 4 shots. He, again, played well, but that's kind of where the strength of the Gophers departs. Wood had 6 shots, was even, and had the goal, but otherwise a lot of red figures and a lot of minuses on the stat sheet for the Gophers, just losing by a goal. So if this is my last broadcast as a part of Radio K, it's been a phenomenal experience for me. I've gotten to call so many amazing Gopher games. I'm certain they have a win percentage over 500, maybe even over 600, especially helped with hockey as of late. Whether it's football, basketball, or hockey, I'm always going to bleed maroon and gold for the rest of my life. And I'll look back on these broadcasts fondly. I just get to do what I do in the stands and do it on air. And it's an absolute blast. I love sports, really. This is a love letter to sports in general. And love watching a team that I've grown up watching occasionally and now have a lifelong connection to after I graduate in the spring. I'm definitely going to try and stay in the broadcast sphere. Didn't think this would be a part of my college journey until one random Ragnar race. I met Trask Angel, who founded Radio K Sports, and he said, hey, you want to come out for a broadcast? I said, sure, and lo and behold, 4 years later and almost 50 games, I've been on the air for quite a bit. My first one, I think, was the football game against Maryland. Sadly, the 2 games I went to that season were when the Gophers choked that halftime lead against Ohio State and lost to Bowling Green. I did catch a T-shirt in that game, but those are the 2 games that I went to, and I haven't really been back to a student section in a football game especially, but I've been much more infrequent, and I love it up here in the broadcast booth. And Tim, as a sophomore, I hope nothing but the best for you.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure doing these broadcasts with you. That Oregon game for basketball this year was an absolute blast. The heartbreaking football game, my first broadcast with you against North Carolina. Gosh, what a disappointing game, but man, there's no one else I'd rather do it with.
Thank you, Tim. So if this is the last time, I just want to say thank you all for listening, family, friends, even people who've stumbled on this randomly on YouTube. How about the people in the future when I'm inevitably pulled up on Radio K Sports and they love to mention that I broadcasted for the U in the past. Thank you to all who listened, and thank you to all who supported me in any way to come up here and do this broadcast journey. But here's to hoping the Gophers can pull it out and get to Fargo, because that would be a blast if we get there.
Gosh, I really hope so.
So, signing off, Tim Serb, Jack Bartlett, from the Radio K Broadcast Network. Thank you, everybody, sincerely for listening. Have a great day, and as always, Sky Uma, row that boat. Go Gophers.